Jon, are you ready?
I'm ready, baby.
For a while now, we've been testing your knowledge by playing Gordon Solie's Championship Wrestling Trivia. But now, starting this month, you will not only be testing your knowledge, but you will be competing against a different challenger every month. And I've already reached out to quite a few people that are interested in challenging you and taking you on. What I'm going to do this wrestling style. We talk often about how wrestlers are when they first come to the territory, they start out in the prelims, and if they win, they might face a tougher opponent the next time, and so on and so forth till they're in the main event. That's what I'm going to try and do here. Is each time you win, I want to find a even tougher challenger for you to face the following month. And maybe it'll build to you getting a world title shot, and we'll get Flair to come on the podcast and challenge you. But your first opponent is not Ric Flair. It's now time. Let's meet your challenger for this month.
This is longtime listener and super fan of Charting the Territories, Todd Rosiak, and I am challenging Jon Boucher to a round of Gordon Solie's Championship Wrestling Trivia.
All right, longtime listener and super fan, Todd Rosiak. Todd, for our listeners, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I am a lifelong resident of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I've been employed as a sports writer at the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel now for just over 30 years. I just wrapped up my 13th year covering the Milwaukee Brewers, but I've also covered the Green Bay Packers, Milwaukee Bucks, college basketball, and really just about anything else that happens in this area. And my bosses have even been so kind as to indulge me a little bit over the years and allow me to write a little bit of pro wrestling, which is always fun. Considering where I'm from, it probably comes as no surprise that my initial fandom was centered around Vern Gagne's AWA, with Milwaukee being such a stronghold for the territory back in its heyday, especially. My first wrestling memory is sitting in my great-grandmother's sunroom as a 7-year-old, flipping through the channels and on a Sunday morning and coming across the weekly AWA program and seeing Bobby Heenan, the Blackjacks on the screen, and just being completely mesmerized by what I saw on TV. I attended way more AWA and WWF cards as a kid than I could probably ever count in Milwaukee. And I would say probably my best and most recent wrestling moment came in early June. I was in Tampa on a work trip, and I made a pilgrimage to 106 North Albany, better known as the Sportatorium, for Championship Wrestling from Florida. And I also went out to the Fort Homer Hesterly Armory. So both of those were really cool things that I was able to check out in person for myself. And I'll give you one fun fact. I live 3 miles away from the infamous McDonald's that ultimately led to the brawl, arrest, and imprisonment of both Ken Patera and Mr. Saito back in the mid-'80s.
Well, all right. Well, Todd, if you come up short in this challenge, I hope you don't go berserk like Ken and Mr. Saito did in response, because I think the police will be more prepared to handle you than they were two professional wrestlers.
Yeah, I don't think I'm strong enough to pick up a big boulder like Ken Patera did and throw it through the window. But be that as it may, I am ready to challenge Jon.
Yes, Todd might not have brute power, but let's see if he's got brain power as we play Gordon Solie's Championship Wrestling Trivia. Briefly, I'm going to go over the rules. You will both have 20 seconds to answer each question. I will ask Todd all 4 questions on one card first, while Jon is in a soundproof isolation chamber that we built in his tiny apartment in New York City. Todd, you can ask for a hint for one of the first 3 questions. You must ask for the hint at the time the question is asked during your 20-second allotment to answer it. The clock will be stopped once you ask for the hint and will be restarted after I give the hint. However, and here's the catch, if you do ask for a hint, Jon will automatically be given the same hint for the same question and be given a hint for the 4th question, which is typically a true, false, or fill in the blank question. If both you and Jon answer the same number of questions correctly, there will be a bonus question for a tiebreaker. All right, Jon, this is your first challenger, Todd Rosiak from Milwaukee, sports writer for the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel and longtime fan of the AWA and wrestling in general. So How do you feel? Are you ready?
I've got my cheese hat on, my cheese head hat.
All right. Okay. I'm going to need you to step inside your isolation booth while we go ahead and ask Todd the questions.
Okay. Good luck, Todd.
All right. So we are ready to begin. We are going to start with question 1. And I'm going to preface this by saying that in the question, it refers to the Pro Wrestling Illustrated Awards. This particular question was actually refers to before Pro Wrestling Illustrated was actually published. These awards were published in Sports Review Wrestling magazine. And so just keep that in mind. So question number 1. Who was the winner of Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazine's Inspirational Wrestler of the Year in 1974?
Al, I hate to do it. I'm going to have to use my hint right off the bat.
Okay, with 8 seconds elapsed, you have chosen to use a hint. So here is the hint. And as soon as I finish with the hint, the clock will restart. While this wrestler is often said to have played football at West Texas State University, not only did he not play football there, it's believed he was actually never enrolled in the school.
I am going to go with Dick Murdoch.
That is correct. Okay. 1 for 1. Now, question number 2. Name the namesake and tag team partner of Chief Jay Strongbow.
I am going to say Jules Strongbow.
That is correct. 2 for 2. All right,
Yes.
Moving on to question number 3. Which wrestler received a record 48,000 calls when appearing as a guest on Boston's WHDH radio Sports Huddle call-in show?
I am going to go Hulk Hogan.
That is incorrect. The correct answer was Rowdy Roddy Piper. All right. This is your last question in the regular round. You've gotten 2 out of 3 right. Here is question number 4. True or false? Roddy Piper has competed in WrestleManias 1, 2, and 3.
Hmm.
10 seconds.
I am going to go with false.
That is incorrect. He did compete in all of the first 3 WrestleMania. So Todd, you are 2 for 4. Now we will signal Jon to leave the isolation chamber, and he will now be asked the same 4 questions. Jon, Todd answered 2 out of 4 questions correctly. If you get 3 or more correct, you win. If you get 0 or 1 correct, Todd wins. And if you also get 2 correct, we will move on to the bonus round. Jon, you will automatically get hints for question number 1 and question number 4.
Okay.
In those 2 cases, I will read the hint immediately after reading the question, and then the timer will begin when I finish the hint.
Understood.
So, question number 1. And I want to preface this by stating that what's referred to in the question as the Pro Wrestling Illustrated Awards were actually printed in Sports Review Wrestling magazine because this was prior to PWI actually being a thing.
Gotcha.
So, question number 1. Who was the winner of Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazine's Inspirational Wrestler of the Year in 1974? And here's your hint. While this wrestler is often said to have played football at West Texas State, not only did he not play football there, it's believed he was never actually enrolled in the school.
I'm going to go with Dick Murdoch.
That is correct. 1 for 1. All right. Question number 2. Name the namesake and tag team partner of Chief Jay Strongbow?
Can you repeat the question for me?
Name the namesake and tag team partner of Chief Jay Strongbow.
Namesake. The Jules Strongbow?
That is correct.
Okay.
You are now tied with Todd. If you get one of the next two questions right, you win. And if you don't, you will be going to the bonus round.
Okay.
Question number 3. Which wrestler received a record 48,000 calls when appearing as a guest on Boston's WHDH radio Sports Huddle call-in show?
Bruno Sammartino.
That is incorrect. The answer, Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Wow.
All right. Question number 4, John. If you get this right, you win. If not, we go to the bonus round. And remember, immediately after I ask the question, I will also give a hint.
Okay.
True or false? Roddy Piper has competed in WrestleManias 1, 2, and 3. Hint, at WrestleMania 2, Piper faced Mr. T in a boxing match.
True. He did compete in WrestleManias 1, 2, or 3.
That is correct.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding, ding. John, you have defeated your worthy opponent, Todd Rosiak, in the first ever installment of the new John Plays Gordon Solie's Championship Wrestling Trivia.
Woo!